everyone, my name is Kayla Martell, and I'm sure, like me, you normally look forward to attending the Children with Hair Loss Gala or Night of Magic and Wonder, but this year, obviously because of the pandemic, we're not able to get together this year in person and all fly out or drive over to Michigan and celebrate and dance the night away. So this year, I figured since we're going to be celebrating at home, we should get ready. We should dress up in whatever you feel most beautiful or handsome in and just still celebrate the night. So tonight, I'm going to be getting ready, and I hope you'll get ready with me. So if you had already picked out a dress or a suit, by all means, hop on, watch this video with me, and get ready, throw it on. But if you haven't yet, I'm obviously in my pajamas, so no need to get all dressed up, but I figured that we would take this time to just be together. Being isolated like this through the pandemic is tough, and then missing out on something that we all look forward to all year long, where we can be with people who truly understand what we're going through day in and day out. That's a big loss for us. So I hope that this video and this time together serves as a way to feel like we still have something to look forward to. So let's get started. The first time that I noticed that I was losing my hair, I was 11 years old, and I had been a dancer my whole life. And so I was getting ready for dance class, and as I was getting ready, I noticed that there was a bald spot on the top of my head. And that spot was right where I would part my hair, right down the center, about here. And in the back, ironically, that's exactly where the spot was, where I'm losing my hair again today. So when I noticed the spot, my first instinct was to cover it up. So I didn't call in my mom or my dad to talk to them. I just wanted to get to dance class. I didn't want to deal with it. It seemed very scary and very overwhelming. So I just pulled my hair back and decided to put it in a bun as best I could and cover it up. The very next day, I went to part my hair down the middle for school, and I realized that the bald spot had grown just a little bit overnight. And so at that point, I decided that the best thing that I could do would be to part my hair on the side and again, try to cover it up. And I wish that that wasn't my instinct, but I was a very sassy and independent 11-year-old, as I'm sure someone else who is watching can relate to. And so at that point, I wasn't ready to talk about it yet. I didn't know what was going on. I had never heard of alopecia areata. The only people at that point that I knew who had lost their hair were going through chemotherapy treatments. And that to me seemed very scary. And so I just wasn't ready to talk about it yet. My mom pulled me aside and said, "What's going on? Is there something different? Is there something you want to talk about?" And for me, I was still feeling very stubborn, but I knew that I had to talk to her. So I showed her the bald spot, and I'm so grateful that she was very calm and was ready to listen. So she asked if I was experiencing anything else, if I was feeling any pain or discomfort, any other symptoms. So not long thereafter, we went to the dermatologist, as I'm sure some of you have already experienced and gone through. And ultimately, I was diagnosed with alopecia areata. So you can see my hair still grows from time to time. I'm never completely smooth bald. So if you're not familiar with alopecia, maybe you experience hair loss of a different kind. But with alopecia areata, it's considered patchy baldness, and I have very true alopecia areata. So it is patchy from time to time. Sometimes it will grow, and this is an example of that. When I first lost my hair when I was 11, as I said, it fell out on the top first. But in the back, it stayed long and healthy, ironically. And so I had a mullet. So if you don't know what a mullet is, ask your mom or dad to show you a picture. But yeah, it had fallen out on the top and then stayed long in the back. It was very strange, but I'll tell you, I did not want to cut that hair in the back. And if you're going through that, I completely understand that whatever hair you do have right now, if you don't want to cut it or shave it, I totally understand. Part of it for me at this point, at my age, is that I'm just lazy and I don't feel like cutting it all the time. But when I was younger, I really wanted to hang on to the hair that I had left. So like I said, if you're going through that, or if you're a mom or dad listening and your kiddo is experiencing that, totally normal and totally understandable. It's nice to be able to feel like you have a little something from life before this new diagnosis, or maybe it's not so new for you, but it was very comforting for me. So I had that beautiful mullet for about 2 years, honestly, and I even went to dance class with a bun in the back with the hair that looked like a mullet and then bald on top, and I'd wear bandanas. It was a good look for me, so if you know what I'm talking about, I'll try to share a picture one day. So I didn't wear wigs growing up, or when I was first diagnosed, or when I first lost my hair. For me, I started wearing wigs later in life, and once I was in college. So I've been wearing them for 11 years now, so it's been a while. But I don't wear them every single day. But I do have some tips. So if you're new to wearing hair, and let's say that you did get your hair from children with hair loss, and that you were gifted some beautiful, beautiful hair from children with hair loss, and it arrived to you, and you went to put it on and you were like, what do I do with this now? One thing I will tell you is don't be afraid to treat it like your own hair. It is an incredible gift, a beautiful, beautiful gift, but it is yours now. And so I'm not saying go crazy, don't go cutting it and dyeing it purple or anything bananas, but it's your hair now. And so if you want to wear it up in a ponytail, or if you want to wear barrettes in it or braid it, whatever makes you feel most beautiful and most comfortable. This is obviously for the gals. For the guys, it's a different thing. But do what makes you feel most comfortable. So the reason I say that is because sometimes when you're wearing hair for the first time, you're a little intimidated because you don't know what to do with it maybe, or because, you know, maybe you've even chatted with your mom and your dad and maybe they're overwhelmed and don't want anything to happen to the hair. And I totally understand that. But you know, go get some beautiful accessories. Go get some hair clips or hair ties or headbands. There's even some crazy, you know, glitter hairspray or something. Don't use that every day, but treat yourself and enjoy this time because it's a new change, and especially with us all being at home during quarantine, or maybe you are back in school. I know every state is different. I'm over here in Delaware. But have some fun with it. Don't be intimidated. Wearing a wig or a full cap prosthetic, whatever you'd like to call it, wearing a hairpiece, is different for everyone. So because I do have a little bit of hair on my head, as you can see, I don't need to wear a wig cap because I have something to grip underneath of my cap. Maybe you do though, or maybe you tape your hair down. Everyone is a bit different. Don't be overwhelmed by that though. You're gonna over time figure out what works best for you. This might be a fun time to really get to know your hair, whether it's new or not. Find out what works best for you. If you're gonna be home and you know that you're not gonna be seeing anyone per se, maybe just on Zoom classes or something like that, today might be a great day to sit down and play around with your hair a little bit. Try parting it a different way, try brushing it a different way, you know, or asking for help from your parents just to see what works best for you and how they can help you. Maybe try a fun braid. This is a great time to do it. So if anything, we're pretty blessed to be going through this right now, to be able to have that time to goof around a little bit and try some new things. And if it doesn't turn out exactly great, at least you're probably not going anywhere today. But nonetheless, I usually try to take a positive spin on things, so there we go. I did lose my eyebrows when I was 11, and they were gone for a very long time, so I learned to pencil my eyebrows pretty early because I was a dancer, and on stage, you kind of have to look like your peers as much as possible so that not one single person stands out in the core. So I learned to pencil my brows pretty quickly. But for those of you who asked, I try different brow products all the time. I'm trying some more generic products just for fun right now, and this is from Ulta. It was, I don't know, $5 maybe. Really inexpensive, and I got a bit of a darker color this time around. So my point in even mentioning that is not that this is the best product out there or the one that you should buy, but my point in mentioning that is if you want to try some different brow products, again, now is a great time because we are at home, but also know that you don't have to buy anything expensive by any means. There are gels, powders, there are pencils, all for a very, very reasonable price, but always talk with your mom and dad before purchasing anything like that, because it's really not necessary. If anything, it's just more for fun. And the way that you saw me at the beginning of this video is how I usually look on a regular daily basis. So again, we're just getting ready for a beautiful gala that we would normally be having together and celebrating. So this is even more makeup than I would wear on a typical basis. So just keep that in mind. Another tip for anyone new to wearing wigs or prosthetics, hair prosthetics, is to take really good care of it, because something that I don't think I realized my very first year of wearing hair, or I did realize it, but I hadn't given it much thought, is that hair is not going to grow back. That hair has already grown to its full extent, and it is the longest it will ever be, and the healthiest it will ever be, to be honest with you. So as I said earlier, have fun with it. It's your hair. Experiment and play around with it. However, do keep in mind that you want to take care of it. It's a beautiful gift, and I think that it took me about a year to realize that meant when I do wash it, I really use a very thick, wonderful conditioner, and make sure that I replenish the oils in there. I don't use a lot of dry shampoo, but I use dry shampoo as kind of a placeholder for the weeks that I'm not washing it if I need to. But really, your scalp isn't excreting a lot of oil onto that wig, so you really don't need to use a lot of dry shampoo to create a lot of buildup there. So just keep that in mind. And if you're a young kiddo watching this, don't worry about it. Your mom, your dad, your grandmom, your aunt, somebody will help you work through that. So this is not any of your concern, and please don't stress about it, because that hair is fantastic. Many of you watching may have hair loss of a different kind. You might have gone through chemotherapy. You might have had burns or birth defects so that your hair never really grew in. You know, we all that are a part of children with hair loss may have lost our hair for very different reasons. So my experience might not be the same as yours. For me, I like to think I've actually handled my hair loss pretty well over the years. I think I've always been a pretty very calm and easygoing person when it comes to my alopecia, but I obviously have had my struggles too. You and I aren't much different, so if you've had tough days, I've had them too. Don't worry, you're not alone. I'd say the hardest part about having alopecia was probably years ago, nothing I experience now. But the hardest part, especially being 11 and 12 and 13 years old, going through junior high or high school, was not knowing anyone else who had alopecia areata, not knowing anyone else under the age of 65 or someone who was young and relatively healthy who had lost their hair. It felt so extreme and unusual, and that really was the hardest thing, not knowing a friend or someone else who had lost their hair like I had. And maybe you're feeling that too, and that's very understandable. You have something that I did not have when I was younger. You have a community, you have a support system. Children with hair loss might not be right next door to you. In my case, Michigan is far away from Delaware, but we have the internet and we have ways of connecting and keeping in touch with people that we meet through these galas or events, fundraisers, or just online meeting people. And so don't be afraid to make that connection. And if you are, a young kiddo, make sure that you include your mom and dad in those conversations. Make sure that they are able to oversee any online presence that you have. But really right now, especially, use that as a resource. Use children with hair loss as a resource. If you need someone to talk to about your hair loss specifically, reach out to Regina or Christine and maybe say, hey, I'm however many years old. Do you know anyone else that you could connect me with who might be willing to just talk for a while? You could FaceTime with them, you could email with them, you could find them on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or something like that to follow them. Heck, you could follow them on TikTok. People that you meet with children with hair loss, they become your family. They become your real life friends, not just the friends that you visit once a year. You can keep in touch with them. And it's nice having someone that understands what you're going through. That really is one of the greatest blessings that comes from children with hair loss, honestly. Yes, the hair that they send you is beautiful, and what a gift. It's incredible, truly a blessing in itself. However, the relationships that you build, the connections that you build, the reminder when you do attend the gala, hopefully we'll be together next year, that you are not alone, that there are so many of us like you experiencing hair loss of some kind. You don't have to go through this alone. So really, That was the hardest part for me when I was younger, when I was 11, 12, 13, just going through losing my hair, the ups and downs that come with it when the hair would grow back and I'd get a little bit excited and then it would fall out again. And knowing that there was no one in my life that could really relate to that at that time. But I've come a long way and I don't feel those ups and downs anymore. However, I've made friends, I have connections with people that I feel comfortable calling if I'm having a down day or a down week, and I hope that you find that too. And I think I'm happy to always reply to any emails that I get, but I really think finding someone close to your age, if you're 13 and you're watching this, I encourage you to find someone who's going through life in the same way that you are, and experiencing hair loss, because I think there's something really unique about that and being in the same chapter together and having a partner to go through that with. So utilize your relationship with children with hair loss to really get those connections, because I think that will make it a tiny bit easier for you, even though losing your hair is never easy, and we all understand that. I don't change anything in my life anymore because of my hair loss, and I hope that one day you come to that point as well. It's very liberating to not feel limited by your hair loss. So I'll say that again, I choose to feel liberated, not limited by my hair loss. And if liberated is much too big a word for anyone watching, all it means is I choose to live my life and find things that make me happy, and I don't feel afraid to do those things because of my hair loss. If I'm not going to do it, it will be for a totally different reason, but my hair loss will never be the thing that stands in my way. So swimming, going to the beach, playing sports, which I am horrible at. However, if I wanted to play them, my hair loss would not be the reason that I didn't. To be honest, I'm very comfortable going without my wig. Very often I don't wear it, and that's my own personal choice. Often if you see me out and about, if you live in or around Delaware, you'll see me looking just like this, maybe not with this much makeup at this point. I don't wear my hair to the wig or to the pool or to the beach. The first reason is because I don't feel like I need to feel comfortable. But the second reason is because I mentioned before that I take really good care of my hair, and part of that is I don't want to expose my hair to chlorine. You certainly can, by all means. I'm sure you've seen the other people in your life, you have the hairy people in your life who do have hair on their head. They go in the pool and their hair is just fine, and yours will be too. But I like to extend the life of my hair as long as possible, and part of that is making good choices and taking good care of it. So I don't really put my hair in a chlorine pool. I don't put it in the water at the beach. You know, in the ocean, the salt water is fine, but I try not to dry out my hair. So that's just a choice that I make, and you'll figure out what works for you. The fact that we've connected here probably means, again, that you're affiliated or you've met someone from Children with Hair Loss, and so that right there is an incredible resource. Although we can't have the gala this year together in person, that is one of the most beautiful resources I have ever seen, to be in a room filled with people and you can't tell who has hair loss and who doesn't, because some people are wearing their hair and wearing wigs, some people aren't, and some people just have hair that comes out of their head, which is wild. But it's an incredible thing to be able to walk around, and you can't even guess the ones of us who have lost our hair. It's a really incredible resource, and Children with Hair Loss will always put you in touch with someone if you need to chat with someone in your area, or maybe you need to meet up with someone that works at a salon in your area. I think that Children with Hair Loss is a great touch point, and they can point you in the right direction. Even following people on social media, you know, teens or kids who are a part of Children with Hair Loss, just seeing that they're living their life. We're all living our life, going on, living normal Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. You know, we have normal lives just like you do, and by that I mean that we have not let our hair loss stand in our way. We are continuing to find ways to be happy and move forward in life and be successful in our own ways, and I think it's a really good reminder to see those things on a daily basis, and that's really what social media is about, in my opinion, is being inspired and seeing what other people are doing and allowing it to lift you up. So that's how I utilize that. My personal favorite part about the Children with Hair Loss Gala is usually the night before. For any of you who are models in the Children with Hair Loss fashion show, or if you participate in any way, or if you've flown in for the gala, often you've been invited or maybe you've heard about the fact that we have a super secret, not secret at all, pizza party usually the night before. And oh my gracious, it's my favorite part. I always make sure that I fly out early enough to get to Michigan in time to be there for that. Number one, because I love pizza. But number two, because I love seeing all of you and we're in our normal casual clothes. We're not all dolled up. And we're just hanging out and catching up from the year and seeing how school is going and what sports you're playing or what dance performances you've been in or what activities you're into, hearing about your friends and your normal life. That's really what it's all about for me, is just spending that time together, because the gala is it's incredible. It flies by. Those hours fly by at the gala because we're having so much fun and there's a lot to do and a lot of people to see. So that night before is really my favorite part, and I hope that I always make it in early enough to be able to see you all at that pizza party. Maybe this is all very new to you and you're a part of Children with Hair Loss and you have lost your hair, but you're not quite sure if you're ready for wearing a hairpiece yet, which is totally fine. But you'll see, this is how easy it is for me. It's going to be a little bit messy because I just picked it up off the floor. I promise I treat it a little more nice than I'm leading on right now. But anyway, I hope this time together has lifted your spirits in some way. Like I said, I know we're all kind of trapped at home right now. We're not really trapped, but I hope that you are safe and that you're healthy and that your loved ones are all safe and healthy. And really, I'm sorry that we can't all be together this year for the charity ball. I look forward to it all year long, and I look forward to seeing all of you. So of course I'm sad that we can't be together, but we need to be safe, we need to be healthy. Some of us have compromised immune systems, so this is definitely the right choice to be able to celebrate from home. And I've heard that there might be some really cool surprises as ways to celebrate what will be the charity ball. But in the meantime, I hope that this quick little video, not quick at all, has been a chance for you to maybe sit down, get ready with me too. Let's, get dressed up a little bit. Although I'm still in my pajamas, but you could get dressed up and, pretend that you're going to the charity ball too. And if not, then we just got to spend 30 minutes together. So I'm grateful for that as well. And in the weeks to come, if you're watching this and you have any questions that you'd like for me to answer, or anyone from Children with Hair Loss, please reach out. We can make more videos just like this, but I love being able to connect with you, and I can't wait for the day that we are all back together and able to dance the night away and celebrate at the next charity ball. So thanks for spending time with me and getting ready with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!